was doing this?
Social media, saviors are fixed, marks must be made, knowledge one is spent, time and space, the great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates this spark, ways the heart, design, sun, ray, my art, her, make the patriarch. Most social media, saviors are fixed, marks must be made, knowledge one is when the rhyme and bass. I rolled up, took a shower, purified my arc field, took copper for a wall to ensure my chlorophyll is pumped. Done some curls for sure, I've more to build. Solid foundation, my crown, sharp report and hill. Pound the pavement, sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war. Man or woman and child, rid the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this morning, send them back to whence they came. Is the peace laugh or war cry, whatever the relevant name of each path, simple, highest form, spiritualities, how you teach math. A humble beach is still a beach. Now feel the beach raft, rain fire on them, and the internet forms, sigils, emojis, and the avatars that wore them. Destroy this de facto government and its quorums. Establish Big Ma's house so she may restore him. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media, saviors are fakes, marks once we make, knowledge born is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Waves the heart as I most social media, saviors are fakes, marks once we make, knowledge born is when rhyme and bass drop. The last host, note to self, quit playing, hit the gas, this shaft is called, my turn, take the risk and smash. Most of them got vaccinated with chips in their ass, plus rappers sacrificing each other for grips to their cash. Stacking, watch videos without the subliminals, predictive programming weirdo, sprung menstrual shows, the land's contaminated, fruits and vegetables, black minerals, the water and skies I fry, liquid chemicals, technology got me here in front of my desktop, perusing these beats and whatnot for my best option, contemplating which bar will next pop to unlock the minds that are stuck within a Xbox off the chart. I continue to climb, watching the rest flop like carp fishing, 100% fresh shark water. I'm on the front line, X marks the spot. I shine because of her, for she's the best part. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media, saviors are fakes, marks once we make, knowledge born is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media, saviors are fakes, marks once we make, knowledge born is when the right and bass drops. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the great matriarch. Honor and respect to our ancestors. Draw. You've always had a father, the author of your flow, the show fire starter, the cause of your glow. But the trail I've blazed, I pray you turn from it. The hell I've raised, I pray you don't burn from it. The work I put in, I pray that you earn from it. The mistakes I've made, I pray that you learn from it. You my splitting image, little darker, little taller. I'm a shot caller, though you just a little baller. But chief, I'm still teaching you like he got gang. My he ain't reaching you despite me lock and chain. Black you speaking true, you ignite lots of pain. I feel the releasing of lightning and drops of rain from the sound cloud. You shine like me, the crown's proud. But unlike me, son, you haven't turned down loud. A smoke screen which surrounds you, shrouds your style. My shout allow your genius to astound the crowd. You my beloved, you scintillate profusely. You my beloved, you resent fate foolishly. You my beloved, do ventilate truthfully. You my beloved son, and who I'm well pleased. Okay, showing your vision is resplendent, my descendant when filming your intuition extends. The lens is felt when your cinematographic flashes of your scripted class get your inner magic dramatic. as stretches the facet through the scope of life's Kodak QC classic. The question you have is mathematics, please ask it. Son, Earth's a classroom, so put your hand up. At last, boom, you already knew the answer. I pray to God to give me another chance for the love of my life, my wife, just a romance. In the misconception, no time for second guessing. It's destined you knew who was who through a reflection that she showed you of me many years ago. Special features presentation appears to show you my beloved. You scintillate profusely, you my beloved. You resent fate foolishly, you my beloved. Do ventilate truthfully, you my beloved. Son, in whom I'm well pleased. Now Sam.
Oh yeah. My music and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor.
Weak ass.
That's what my music's
Soon
about.
gave up niggas
The
walking
oppressed
around.
rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. It's time for a change, got a bounce up. The oppressor's about to get ousted. I'ma lay him out, execution style, too late with apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of blame, by God, it's open, doing your time is to the end. Locked out, silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down, with some pressures attached to the war zone. Revolution can start in the air zone. I'm a messenger, prophet like Farrakhan.
In the air zone.
By the honorable, who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the plentiful simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock blast and kill this. Don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. Owing meals too late when the cats get bills. Don't believe in GC type. Ruin hits close to home. You gotta act the bone when it got the dome. When it's on the song, all red and my vision's through sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I write. From above, I be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' rid them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like nobody ever stopped.
That's fine, baby. Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, Melinda, what's up, Mama? Max Big, what's happening? What's going on, Righteous T? Thom, you already got your beloved. What's going on, fam? Appreciate you always. Appreciate all of you. How's it going? So, I just wanted to drop some things. Baby girl, the love of my life, you know, Snoo. She went back 2 years ago doing CC, big homie CC, mentioned this, I think on Unc's channel, Unc, whatever the hell. Yeah. Stevenson, whatever his name, you know. And I was doing my best to download this thing, and I don't know if it even downloaded it. Like I said, I get a lot of stuff. Did it even download? No, I still didn't download it. I've got a lot of stuff in there, but maybe it'll download. Anyway, I'm gonna play this, and I want you to listen. And it's 2 years ago. I knew it was gonna happen long before that. And I'm not here to talk about ICE, this, that, and other, but a lot of y'all aren't really paying attention to what's going on. And then I'm gonna get into what's on the thumbnail and the things in the description, all right? Because I think these things are important for a lot of you. When we're talking about, you know, stoicism and usury and all that, we see usury and we think about Jesus and the Roman witch god, the temple, you know, and exchange. But I want to read something based on the government and how what a lot of people believe they have no idea about. And then I want to read the Federalist paper number 4. I want y'all to have a deeper understanding and the fact of the ratification, this, that, and other, and a time frame when they say U.S., when U.S. didn't even exist, how they, by suggestion, people run with it because they believe in it. They believe in something, and you feed it. You create more something out of nothing. And we'll explain that. Hopefully, I have everything lined up where it should be. So let's go ahead and listen to big homie CC, the bounty hunter, all right, who was dealing with child trafficking. He's been in shootouts. He's been shot up. I mean, he's been through the whole thing. What you looking at? You all right, brother? All right. I'm going to give a damn if you rakes, whatever. All right. Anyway, I look at him. I don't bow. I don't. If I look away, it's because I don't really care. If I look at them, set them straight. I don't care about what they're doing, this, that, and other, but they are still offbeat. It don't matter. See, you know, when you're in the Grand Canyon digging up our stubs, you remember the idiot who's supposedly found Tutankhamun, and most people not knowing that was Nefertiti's mask, the missing queen, missing my foot. And the fact that it was found here because he wasn't over there in no fake Egypt finding anything, that was an outpost based on the most of the world that you see around you was an outpost established by new people that didn't exist there, and everything was here, all right? So with him digging up, trying to figure out and realize when they broke off the braided beard that in a rush because he had died young, probably murdered, right? It doesn't matter who. I always say they were our enemies. Because Egypt, by the definition of what people think Egypt, which it wasn't, fell, then Tartary arose. But before that was Landis. And regardless of what's here, what you don't see or whatever, right? I don't want to get into all that. But they are so full of usury, so full of lies. They don't make good choices. I don't care what's happened. They don't make good choices. And when you start making these bad choices and decisions, it comes like a storm. All right, you see they're still spraying. They want to seed the clouds, supposedly get rain here because, you know, there's a drought. A drought, my foot. They're redirecting water so they can create a certain, look, y'all need to pay attention. The reason why they make those dams and they flooded our towns, there was no Native Americans. They didn't even exist when they started flooding our towns, destroying Tartary. They were just starting to take the children and some of the adults who didn't want to partake in it, who knew who we were, they wanted to start teaching them to be us, and that's the bottom line. I'm going to do a podcast where I'm going to invite all Native Americans to come and talk all their little fake languages and their fake history so I can redirect them, so that way they can stop coming at us, because the world, why did the world hate us when we gave them everything and they gave us nothing? And I hold my head up because I look at them like, y'all look really stupid to me. And ain't nothing you can say in your emotions and your brokenness because you want to walk around soulless, full of energy, but don't know where to direct it, and you're misfocused because you keep looking outside. None of them looks anywhere inside to know the truth and based upon facts. They're scripted, unanalytical idiots. You know what I'm saying? So, listen to this. Chinese nationals linked to ISIS.
40,000 Chinese nationals crossed the border. Then what did they find? They found a sim farm in New York where they had the infrastructure to take out 200 million phone lines. That's what's going on. Our national security has been compromised. That's why ISIS is everywhere harassing people. It ain't about people undocumented working at the fucking junkyard. We're gonna see a uptick in mass shootings. When you see states like Texas banning Sharia law, how is it that in America we have to ban Muslim law? Because they buying whole cities and compounds and they going around telling people you can't sell liquor here. That's what's going on.
And liquor, as y'all know, is a poison. So amen to that. We need to get rid of all that shit. And I listen to my boy Elite Exposure Evans. Now, I'm not gonna play his stuff here, but I'm gonna save it for a podcast.
Business is ran by the devil. So the music business is only designed to get as many people to go away from God as possible. So what happens is the devil needs workers, and by workers, he needs people who have influence, who can
So we're gonna play that later, okay? It's downloaded. I get a lot of stuff from my boy, whether they're on Telegram. I opened Telegram again. I'll straighten it out with a few people and let you know what it is. But I want you to hear the conscience of the idiots who y'all keep feeling. I don't have no love or compassion. I know the good ones, all right? But these ones who just can't listen, and they're listening and can't get it right, they're gonna continue to make mistakes, and they got a choice. And give themselves another 3,000 years. Let everything come to fruition. Stop poisoning people. Stop doing the dumb shit. This is not for me to save the world and shit. Like, I give a fuck about it right now. I push the button my damn self. I mean, I'm dead serious. Dead serious. But the same idiots who did that, destroyed Gaza, are deeply concerned that Iran might have broken international humanitarian law. It's a big game. If you have enough people conditioned who believe in a bunch of shit based on suggestion and acts by the very idiots who set it up, running around in Patagonia, burning it down, moving into conservative states, and you don't see no good old boy network, no Klan, no rallies, no nothing, none of them doing no lynching and nothing. Y'all should have been paying attention the first thing. They had y'all believing the Klans out here lynching and doing all this killing when I tell you who it is. They're snatching up based on a certain thing. Remember the women who were running around talking about that nigga touched me and blah, blah, and they go on and lynch him, and then they realize, oh, this guy had about, 80 acres and he had a nice house and a couple of storefronts. See, this is what y'all don't look at. Because you just, it's about feelings. Well, regardless of all that, some people are starting to realize it and search it out and find this to be a fact. And y'all have allowed it in the stead of your ignorance. And now they got a whole lot of people scripted and tagged in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they even got old folk running around, walking, because they're aware of something. And y'all are still doing the same thing. Anyway. When you look at Embassy Branch Main telephone number, postal mailing address, Embassy Branch Office of the United States, 71 Hayat, Tel Aviv, Yafo, 634-3229 Israel. When we're talking about 011-972-3519-7575, the telephone number. U.S. Immigration and Customs Customs Enforcement, which is your so-called ICE, maintains a presence in Tel Aviv through Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, focusing on transnational crime, intelligence sharing, and in some cases, training with Israeli forces. HSI offices, as you saw, the Green Beret said, no, they're over there. We got people over there fighting alongside them, killing Palestinians, because you got a bunch of dumb Christians, a dumb racists, and a bunch of idiots. And when they're told to do something, they run and do it, not really realizing what may come from it. And then the secret military that y'all know nothing about, that belongs to another government that y'all have no idea about, why y'all keep listening to these puppets, Poopy Pants, Trump, and all the other ones, right? And in some cases, training with Israeli forces, handle cases involving human trafficking, cyber crime, and visa fraud. They coordinate with local law enforcement to support the United States security, blah, blah, blah. Y'all should already know what that's all about, because you actually know the individuals who are part of the whole thing. Just like, is there an agenda, right? When you think about Alex Preddy, RN. But y'all don't know about Alex Preddy, RN, and I keep telling y'all, stop worrying about that goddamn shooting. Because if you knew the truth, and I'm going to hold the picture up, I was going to make a post. I said, I'm going to hold the picture up. I'm going to hold the picture up because y'all don't know how to research this stuff. Not that I give a fuck, but I get tired of hearing the same people argue politics, this, that, and this and that, and all this other stuff. They pay people to go and partake in this shit, and then they will hit them a left beef round. They'll do shit to them because they're stupid. So this right here is a picture of RN, Alex Pedri, RN, the Zionist fake-ass Jew who was over there fighting, taking care of some of the soldiers when they were getting hurt in Palestine, which they call fake Israel. Oh, it's the same motherfucker. The same individual. Excuse my language. All right? Excuse my language. The same individual. Okay? Y'all watch enough movies and watch enough shootings and stuff to know what's real and what's not. Anyway, I'm going to read a few things to you. Maybe this because that stuff to me is unimportant. That's important to those people who want to have the conversation. Just like Mr. Kirk there getting shot in the neck with some weird looking shit and squibs and things moving around in his shirt, however they did it. Excuse me. Let me see. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's an actual artist, brother. Yeah. And I'll play that for y'all later, okay? All right. So, first of all, let's correct something about worrying, okay? Hey, no, Knuckles, what's going on, beloved? To worry, right, is often considered a cognitive form of fear, characterized by persistent, repetitive thoughts focused on potential future threats rather than immediate danger. While fear is an intense emotional and physical reaction to a present threat, worry is the mental projection of that fear into the future, frequently resulting in anxiety and reduced peace. Let's have a look at this. You know, there's a reason why people do yoga, want to find their circle, be on their square, whatever you want to call it. They don't want to put themselves in a place to project. What is projection? Based on suggestion. If I come up and say 12 o'clock in the playground, I'm gonna beat your ass. Dude, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm in school. I got 4 hours. You know what's going to happen? I've already lost the fight. I never had a fight. I don't even know if I can fight. What does fight really mean? How about the fact that it's abusive, it's abrasive? It can end your physical existence because you're still in ignorance. You don't realize what you're capable of. And the frequencies are on that side. Why does this person want to fight me? We say bully and all these little terms. Those are meaningless terms. They just create more of an adverb, all right? Instead of saying, fuck it, 12 o'clock it is, bruh. Fuck, we can do it right now. Regardless, because it's going to happen. Why not take care of it in the presence, in your presence at the present moment? Because see, tomorrow don't exist. You want to write yourself off? You want to cultivate this fear and move in a way that's going to allow you to flourish in ignorance? You're going to tolerate your own ignorance based on another's ignorance that doesn't enlighten or heighten or bring you into a catapult you to another place of ascension? Okay, the choice is yours. And you better believe that we've learned this from the relatives around us. We just don't know how to act upon it because nobody's sitting us down by the conditioning behind a desk with a curriculum and a book and a chalkboard, or today, I guess they're using those eraser, boards, marker boards, right? And telling you to move accordingly. So anyway, usury typically refers to the illegal or unethical practice of lending money at excessively high interest rates, right? While primarily a financial and legal concept, its underlying principles regarding exploitation, all right, unnatural profit. Let's go over here to the first usury, the illegal action or practice of lending money at unreasonably high rates of interest. They say the medieval prohibition on usury, right? As defined in the Bible, usury originally meant charging any interest or fee for a loan, especially to a fellow Israelite in need. Well, it's well known they murdered some of those who had true Semitic blood because they're hybridized with their blood, the Ashkenaz blood, and they call them Palestinians. They're just a partial of the original bloodline that was there, but yet the Afro-Palestinians were there and many killed, which they'll never show you on TV. okay, which was forbidden. Exodus 22, chapter 22, verse 25. Leviticus chapter 25, verse 35 to 37 and 42, whatever. Anyway, it was supposed to be to protect the poor and foster in a community of, decency and all that other shit, right? That way, though charging the foreigners and all that is bullshit. Because as far as the Levitical arm, those who were the words of truth and everything else, it was to take care of everybody there. We go out, sell. It was no more than what you can have, because you knew that things don't last forever, and make sure that you made it through certain points, and those who didn't have, you had more than enough to make sure that everybody had just as equal parts. Anyway, so charging the foreigners was permitted in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 19 through 20, which is bullshit. While the New Testament doesn't directly address modern banking, it emphasizes, because it doesn't. No, modern banking, they always want to go back to Greek, but they forget Egypt, and they forget Tartary, and they forget everything else, which was taught of 1939. It emphasizes generosity and warns against greed and serving money. All right? Don't let the money make you. Remember, we used to say that, but everybody lets the monkey make them. Look at this. Look at my house. Look at it. Anyway, reinforcing the principles of not exploiting vulnerable individuals. So we go back to the other side when we think about like movies, and well, we'll get into that. So unnatural profit, right? And the social function of using a resource have been applied to other ideas, inventions, and economic activities throughout history. So usury, you know what it did to us. Money as a barren invention. All right, barren invention. Historically, philosophers like Aristotle argue that money is sterile. It cannot reproduce itself. Therefore, charging interest, usury, on money was seen as unnatural, unlike renting out a house or a field, which can produce value. The invention of interest was viewed by some as artificial, unjust way to create profit without work or risk. A lot of these motherfuckers that are rich, they ain't worked nothing. They ain't done nothing. It's been passed down, handed down to keep you in your position. Monopolizing ideas, intellectual property. While not explicitly using the term usury, the concept of charging exorbitant, restrictive fees for access to investors, similar to loaning a vital tool at a crippling rate, echoes the anti-usury sentiment and addresses the tension between private profit and public good. That's how you came up with this fake-ass white narrative. Y'all know I'm not racist and all that dumb shit. I can never be anyway. But I like to get to the facts of the basis of what exists now. And the reason why you have such a perversion, hate, and everything else, because most of the money being made, the inventions weren't made by them. But regardless of this, the usury of intellectual property, our banks, we had the original banks. It's a fact. It's a fact. The original, they had no idea about no Wall Street until they saw how ours functioned. They had to get rid of that part. They didn't kill all of green, what you call it. They didn't destroy all of it. They got a part of it. A whole bunch of people in World War I came and started slaughtering their asses, and they got up out of there, but the damage was already done based on some Zionist fake bitch, right? Some Ashkenaz over here running around Zionism, whether Christian or not, set the religion aside, claiming some young boy did something that he didn't do, okay? Usury of intellectual property. Some argue that applying overly rigid, long-lasting patents or copyrights to intellectual property can function like usury by demanding high fees for access to knowledge. Inventors or corporations might exploit the need for the invention, hindering further innovation. That's not the case. They stole it. And we still sit upon that because they've weaponized everything. You go back to when we invented cars. For those who are finding information, you realize we didn't have car accidents, just like when we invented the traffic lights. And because we just had to reestablish a connection to how they work, because they were destroying all our natural energy sources with our pure lead and our pure mercury and the copper and the gold and the bells and the resonations and everything else was just free energy. So we had to turn around and find another way. So we went about extracting and utilizing a form of electricity based on the energy around here, which is still used. You just don't know it, okay? And they made a profit from it. Greed. That's what they are. You remember one of Rockefeller's daughters, all that money, getting ready to die, she wanted to be buried with it, which they buried with because they could print it and make it out of anything. The usury of intellectual property. So remember that. intellectual property. Intellect means it can't really be taken away. You believe in it because they have a bunch of Cabbage Patch and incubator babies running around in a fictional world, and you're supposed to be subjugated to it just because we got soldiers now and weapons and shit. They don't mean a goddamn thing if they plan on using it on your ass anyway. So digital usury and data. In modern context, the exploitation of user data to create profit without providing equivalent value back to the user has been described in terms that mirror the exploitative nature of usury, essentially charging a high interest for the use of digital platforms, which we all know it's illegal. And we'll get to that in a minute. Just like the sister, right, Miss Stewart, who actually was the writer, you know, for Matrix and Terminator. And you see the two fake ass, what you call it, who compromised, stole it, and then changed it. And we'll get into that. What does it say? Let me see right here. In essence, when usury is applied to broader ideas and inventions, it refers to predatory, exploitative, or parasitic practices where the creator or owner of an idea extracts disproportionate, unearned, or unnatural profit from its use by others, to which it establishes or recorrects or changes things to make it theirs, when in whole it belongs to somebody else. All right. Okay, where's that? So, is usury illegal in the U.S.? Yes, in the U.S. And they always say U.S. We're going to get to that in a minute, right? Yes, usury, charging excessively high interest, is illegal in the U.S. They don't put America. But enforcement and limits vary significantly by state. Is that no wonder they didn't put America's U.S. is not United States, because everything would be fluid. This is how they condition you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, right? Significantly by state, with some states having strict caps and others few limits. And federal laws is why you have such a corrupt system. And judges aren't fucking really the law. Look, y'all need to learn this stuff. They really aren't. All right. Limits vary significantly by state, with some states having strict caps and others few limits. And federal laws like the National Bank Act, y'all need to look that up for yourselves. The National Bank Act often allow national banks to export the highest rates from permissive states, creating a complex patchwork of rules. So state-level laws, usury laws, are primarily set by individual states, not the federal government, meaning limits or lack thereof differ widely. That sound like the United States of America? This is how they deceive you. All right, satanic work, right? If you want to use that term, libel, I call it liability, libel. Varying limits. Some states like Illinois have caps. For example, 36%, which is way too high, while others like Nevada have none. And some like New York have specific rates of exemptions for large commercial loans. Well, take care of their own and fuck everybody else. Federal preemptions, and which is not the Constitution, which is not the Bill of Rights, which is not anything, and you are not supposed to partake, and they're not supposed to use it against you, but because you don't know who the fuck you are, why you got dummies running around claiming to be African Americans, because you still have Moors who are trapped, and they play a role in this shit, and our people are so convinced in the lies and confused because they don't know how to come together and get their heads out of hot, and you have people still trying to market themselves as being the top tier of something while denying and not really supporting anybody, but you still follow and support them because you don't know no better. Anyway, so federal preemption, right? Federal law allows nationally chartered banks to charge the maximum interest rate allowed in their home states, even when lending to borrowers in states with stricter laws, which reduces the impact of state limits. All right. And you got to remember now, exemptions for large commercial loans. I mean, come on. So penalties, violating usury laws, look up usury laws, can lead to civil and criminal penalties, including forfeiture of interest or even criminal charges for criminal usury loan shaking. A lot of these people that give you interest at 100, they're not really out of a real bank. They're using your trust. You can sue them. You can let them, and the people they have sitting there who are giving you these loans at 136% based on some fraudulent bullshit narrative of FICA and all this other bullshit, you can go after them. You just never have, and you just don't know how to. Okay? And you can sue them for everything they've loaned you because it's off your trust and all the fucking interest. And any fucking attorney or any judge that wants to play the packet, not knowing that you're not a citizen of the U.S., but of America, the Constitution in its real form before the false ratification to which doesn't apply to you, belly, baby to the belly, a belly to the baby, it follows. And if they want to say POW or anything, being that you are the only sovereign ones, and the Constitution was originally wrote for you, not for the Cabbage Patch and the incubator babies. This is a fact. You just don't know it because that's why they had to have an education system. They had to have wars because they can dupe you and fool you into a bunch of bullshit, which is scripted lies and perilously befalls you. Exceptions. Most state laws have exceptions for commercial loans, large loans, or specific types of financial products like mortgage or government-backed loans. That's why it's important for y'all to be a collective and move as a nation, because nobody's going to listen to you by your fucking self. That's why I keep telling y'all, stop sitting there on your fake grandiose podium like you some fucking mighty when you ain't shit. Y'all ain't nothing because you refuse to be what you're supposed to be. Let's have a look at this, right? Why am I saying that? Well, when we look about creating things from suggestions, as you see, is a common, often necessary part of the creative process, though it has both pros and cons. While some believe it inhibits true originality, others argue that taking inspiration from external sources is a way to still like an artist by remixing ideas into something new. Miss Stewart's Terminator, and Matrix, our vehicles, the blimp, they had to destroy it. It flew on electricity from the air, right? Used to lift homes with them. The monorail, they sabotaged that. Then they make it for the airports in certain places. Underground, we had them. If we invented the goddamn, the spark plug, listen up now, and the carburetor, what the fuck make you think we didn't invent the whole goddamn engine? Which is a fact we did. Just like they tried to give the machine gun, the Gatling gun, to Maxim. But I showed there was a brother, and they didn't change everything appropriately. Invented it first, just like the aeroplane. But they like to give you the Wright brothers who ain't invent shit. Reverse engineering, learning how to fly with so many accidents, couldn't even get the goddamn thing up the ground because we're not using natural energy to allow lift. And the fact that the scarab beetle, that it can't fly, but a chemical propulsion based on the earth and the frequency allows it to go through the air. Shit that we always knew. I'm not even going to speak on all the other inventions. There's no need. Y'all are very aware of it, just as they are. Okay? So you heard that. Lack of personal passion. Working on ideas that are not your own can lead to a lack of passion, potentially resulting in projects you don't actually want to work on. You look at everything that they're doing and what they've created, and they had to have teams. A lot of times they'd have 5 different teams in 5 different locations, and none of the other teams knew what they were doing. They needed something to be reverse engineered. They needed something to be made again. They needed to have redirection, refocus, and they needed it to be made a certain way. And they would get all kind of people. It didn't matter about color, whatever, because they had to meet a certain thing. This is usury. The very bastards who kill all them people, and then once you worried about Iran and China. China was never our fucking problem, but they're not playing the game. But their politicians, they're right with them. I showed you where the Zionists' influence with the Chinese president and shit. Same as in Iran. I'm not a whistleblower. I don't know nothing about that. I mean, y'all can see this shit for yourselves. Okay? And why do I point that out? Y'all know what Stoicism is? Well, Stoicism is an ancient Greek. Here we go with the bullshit Greek and Roman philosophy, setting them up, the motherfuckers who got you in the position you are, using your identity, walking around like there's something when they're full of shit, misleading and misrepresenting while killing one of their own, each in their own and everybody else, right? Anyway, And these idiots just keep moving around like they're doing something, and they look like, if you just look at them, they look like fucking idiots. Anyway, in ancient Greek and Roman philosophy, focusing on developing virtue. Listen now, Stoicism is an ancient Greek, no it's not. Roman, no it's not. Philosophy, focusing on development, it's yours. Developing virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. You don't see that with none of them. That's why they had to read, that's usury, okay? And they don't want you to accept it because they want you to think they're fake Greece and they fake Rome shit, all right? To achieve inner peace and eudaimonia, happiness, right? It teaches that while external events are uncontrollable, one can control their own reactions, judgments, and character. Yet we see right now, with all the light-skinned bullshit and the dark-skinned bullshit and everything else, and our people stepping back into their proposition, they're doing it because they don't give a fuck. As far as they're concerned, they're going to destroy all this. So why not? And then, as far as they're concerned, they got the dumb Native Americans, my beautiful peoples. They're dumb as fuck. Thank goodness there's a lot of them who know now. Still want to argue and fight, and they ain't even less. They're less than 1% of the fucking population. All right, still want to argue and fight like they're holding on to something when they have been very disrespectful to the truth, and they haven't talked to their great-grandparents and their grandmammies to tell them the honest truth. And a lot of them still know. I was fortunate to be able to see, here's some who apologize. I'm sorry, I want to put their head to mine, all right? But these motherfuckers, you got the idiots on TikTok and all these other dumb sons of bitches, and they can't get their heads out of hot. You know, the Pamunky witch card made the powwows. They didn't make it, and they follow suit doing their foreign ass dancing. That's still intrusive because that ain't the way it was done. We have videos and movies going back to the 1910s of our people doing the circle dances, stomp, moving like animals and everything else, because it is part of our way to embrace and to respect. Because on the reservations, they want to kill the coyotes just like the Pelicans. They want to eat and make pelts and shit. We never murdered them. We never killed that belonged to the land, and yet everybody's still talking beef, pig, and chicken. They're not even indigenous to the fucking land. Anyway, so they got y'all caught up in usury. Whether you like it or not, it's just the way it is. It doesn't matter how many of them come over and look. They don't have to accept the truth. It's not my problem. I'm not here to make anybody accept what may be the truth. Excuse me, let me say it that way. They can hold on to them. I'm not trying to destroy their world and the cultures they have now. What I'm saying is to look beyond the fucking mask and see where the fuck you at, because a lot of them think that they're safe. Well, if they kill all of them, the original motherfuckers, we're going to be all right. Are y'all really that fucking stupid? You know how many of y'all people they took down so-called fake-ass South America and fake-ass Africa? How many people they took over to England? You have no Native Americans over there, but they took hundreds of thousands of Indians over there because they had killed way too many of the original people, and original people had all fled. That's a lot of the people that fill in the Dogon and Ethiopians, what's called Europe. And even though they made pacts with a bunch of them, which y'all know now, why did we warred against each other and we killed so many? And then they made fake treaties that lasted 25 to 30 something years. Stoicism is a motherfucker, because while they're professing peace and sanctity and this and another, on the outside, I keep telling y'all to ascend, you got to look inside. We are internally bonded. Y'all haven't figured out what I was saying. I said we are internally bonded, and you have still looked outside. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. I ain't trying to change what is. I sit up on the reservations, I laugh and talk with Native brothers, and I love them and sisters. Don't get it fucked up. See, y'all have this cross complexion because your emotions and everything are so destabilized. And you think that I'm supposed to be there because I'm aware of some other things? Y'all have no fucking clue. Outside, not looking in. So in Stoicism, eudaimonia means human flourishing, living a life of deep fulfillment and well-being, achieved solely through cultivating virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. Temperance? Justice? Well, how can that be if you're so emotionally unstable, fractured, can't make a proper choice? But you want to lean on excuses, create more something, looking down the road to the future when you haven't even lived in the moment. Help me out here, okay? And it's achieved solely through cultivating virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, temperance, in harmony with nature and reasoning, not external circumstances or pleasure, leading to a stable internal happiness and tranquility. I'd be with any woman, throw that back 12, they're gonna fall in love. It's not about love. Did it feel you enjoyed it? Good. Now you're connected back to the world. Enjoy it. Allow yourself to flourish. Don't let it control you. Some people, well, I got to get away from it. That's not what we were meant to do. We were meant to be connected in more ways than you can imagine. Why you got women who are dumb, talking about we can make babies on our own and all this other dumb shit, buying into shit that is impossible, when I've already showed you the balance between all of us. You can't do it with man on man and woman on woman. And you can't do it with a confliction and confusion because you're still trying to figure out something that don't need figuring. It was already done. The stable has horses you put in it. The horses don't want to be in it. They want to be on outside. Think about that for a minute, because I'm not going to break that down. It's real simple. Tired of explaining shit that's so simple. So when you look at the key principles of it all, you look at like virtue, right? Virtue is the soul good. That's all it is. All right? When you think about wisdom and justice, which you don't see. You see liars and heretics because they have no fucking clue. It feels good on the outside. It looks good. It's permissible because the disease, the parasites, they live by that. All right? So courage and temperance, you don't see that. Because if you saw courage and temperance, they wouldn't be there. They would actually be dealing with justice based on wisdom and flourishing it. Okay? Now, living in accordance with nature and reason. That's the natural order of things. It doesn't need an explanation. It doesn't need to be broke down, deciphered, and you know, cut up all over the fucking place. It existed long before you. So who would do that? Well, y'all know that Satan, they said the biggest game, the joke this motherfucker or those motherfuckers did was making you believe he didn't exist, just like they made you believe God didn't exist. So you don't believe in yourself. So therefore, God can't exist because ye are gods, but you can't see the bigger picture because you refuse to move as a collective. So is there temperance? Is there justice? Is there wisdom? You know, is there peace? Is there virtue? Does it exist? Or is it that you're so busy conflicted thinking when they chose to be soulless or sourceless and use you? So internal versus external. True happiness comes from within, right? The virtue of existing, looking at the past. I'm gonna share something with you once I read the next part that'll share a little history in my remembrance, right? And not from external factors like, you know, like when you look at wealth and health and all that, like how you look on the outside. But when you look at the inside, the rational order of the universe, which is within you, when you're not compelled to be outside, when you look at yourself and you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm all right. Why the fuck? Because the first thing you want to do is worry about somebody shooting you and blowing up and the radiation winds. They tell you before they're going to do it, but what are you doing to contradict or react against it, to be reactionary against it? Because you're docile. Fluoride worked, but is it working now? Chemicals are poisoning. You see everybody now is worried about their liver and their kidneys. So what did they spray to affect everybody's liver and kidneys? What are they putting in the waters and food? Why did they take these off the shelves for a quick moment? Did they put a brand? Did they poison all of them so they knew everybody was going to this? So they said, fuck it, we're going to hit this with graphene, a little bit of chemicals and fuck everybody's liver and kidney up. And those who make it, make it. And those who don't, well, we get some more organs and some bodies to make some more burgers in the goddamn hospitals. How many of y'all went to the hospital and you noticed they have doing a shit job and you got a bunch of chat GPT? I know people in college right now, all they tell us chat GPT, help them do the test. These are the motherfuckers they want to run the world. Thank goodness I met a few that's like, fuck all that, I work hard. And I'm looking outside of it too, so you get more information, so you're more beneficial. But this is part of the system. They'll get rid of the majority of them. But I'm just asking. I'm just saying. Okay. Now, we look at the Federalist Papers, number 4, right? The safety of the people of America. America, not the fucking U.S. against dangers from foreign force depends not only on their forbearing to give just cause of war to other nations. America is the Negro. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. And some light-skinned folk who run around in ignorance. Some. That's America. The U.S. is the corporation that produced babies and incubators and had a lot of our forebearers nursing them. Yes, with breasts, feeding 20 to 40 babies with them big old breasts. The sole purpose, we had women that sole purpose was to breastfeed the children because they had the best breast milk and the best character and the best things within them. Yes, other families, we bring them to these women and all of us would drink like a motherfucker. No cows. Didn't exist. Colostrum, producing that on a crazy level. Because the water wasn't poisoned, it was highly mineralized. As they slowly poisoned the waters, World War and everything else, knowing that it would have a later effect, and the PFAS and everything else, and the chemicals, the glyphosate and all that. Right? So the Federalist number 4 paper, I told you I got mine, families, written by John Jay. It was no pale skinny that they always got to hijack and whitewash shit. John Jay, think about that. Argues that a strong, unified national government is essential for the United States. Wait. This is where they fuck up at. So here they put United States. How many of y'all know the Federalist Papers were created before 1787 up to 1787? So if that's the case, let's look at the origin of the U.S., right? That was 1789. So it's so the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the United States of America. It's the supreme law of the United States of America, right? It supersedes the Articles of Confederation, the nation's first constitution on March 4th, 1989. You see how they fucked that up? Because original Constitution and the Federalist Papers are ours. The Federalist Papers they denied because that was us to save our goddamn country, made with the treaties, because we saw the decline of what was happening. We saw what was about to happen. All these cabbage patch and these babies and all this shit about to be poured on lands. After the soil became like water. The frequencies, something was fucked up. A lot of our people were old as shit. Over 100, 200. I told you my great-great-uncle made sure I knew. Okay? They didn't mind leaving because they knew what was going to happen in the end. But they needed your energy. All right? So you read the Federalist Papers in totality, if you don't mind. So worrying is often considered a cognitive form of fear, characterized by persistent, repetitive thoughts focused on potential future threats rather than immediate danger. Me, I don't give a fuck one way or the other, you know. I'm not bothered or troubled by none of it because I find it pretty stupid. Like I said, I have a story to tell, and you got these idiots who think they always figure out and they got a way to work around it, and then there's no way around it. Which I don't care either way. Ain't my loss, trust me. And I thought I'd come on and share that with y'all. Hey, Charles, what's up, beloved? Hey, Snoop. Hey, baby girl. Maxby, I got you right. Hey, Tara Jones, what's happening? Facts always been like that. Righteous T, handle that. In the moment. And you saw what he did yesterday, that video I put up? It's everywhere. Literally. One of these little fake motherfuckers feel some kind of way because they made them numb. They're not numb. I'm fucking numb. But I don't act upon that numbness because I have real emotions or feelings which don't bind me from anything. I move as scripted as anyone else. I told you, I'm not the bad guy, but I'm damn sure not the good guy. Okay? And it's not an act. Andy Rilla, what's going on? Salutations, beloved. Gnarly Knuckles, I got you, right? Yeah, Max, I got you. Yeah. Baby girl millennial. I hope that was not too intrusive. I hope nobody was offended or because I'm not here to offend. I'm sharing information and reading it. So that way you can go and you have a resource to look it up. All right? The man put white makeup on his face, y'all. Cold cream, whatever. Stood in a white sheet and went boo. And his wife and his mammy, and he messes with them all the time. And these motherfuckers are so bothered. They're so stupid. They really think they're in control. This shit is funny. Because they do that, they're not rational, reasonable, they're not nothing. This is further show you they're not who they say they are, and most people are compromised or too stupid to fucking get it together and don't realize that the problem is the very motherfuckers they support, which is a handful of summer bitches. And a bunch of stupid motherfuckers that can't get their head right. I still say it's a pretty good goddamn job when you think about it. You know? We got all our weapons told, look out and train, man. So what? Now, what I was going to share with y'all real quick before we run out of time here. In my dream, when I'm traveling, certain music, certain things key off my memory. Certain wind, certain things like remind me of certain areas, and it's always so beautiful. Then I see the calamity. I see the fall. I see those around me. And it is a feeling that is unmeasurable. It is beyond the scope of anything you can even think of. There may be several, 14 or 20, I don't know. There's several different levels maybe. There may be more. There's existences and realms. There's things that you can see, you can walk and move through, or some you already have. I don't know how to word it, all right? But let me tell you, the last time that I recall the deepest was me and Snoo. We were young. We were actually matched. Well, it's not you matched. We were meant to be together. We're always together. It's just this last time we have been together. We have, but not in the way we were before. The last time something happened, we were looking out a window. We were high up, all the vehicles flying, and it was just beautiful and peaceful. I think we might have just ate or something, and I think the adults grabbed our arms to run into a safe place, but everything ended. The world was different. It was like, I can't explain this beauty. It's when you see Tartary, they always show you this earth. It was grass and it was beautiful. See, you can't figure it out because we got pale skins telling the story of our existence and our time who have no fucking clue. They have all these foreigners looking at all the marvelous things we built, just like over there, and they realize this is the original old world and it's got to be destroyed. Many other people knew it was the fall. They knew things were returning. They knew things were going to happen. And I think it was the last time before I came back. I remember so clear. I remember being told certain things that will never repeat. As a young, I don't know how old I was because we didn't age like what you think. We don't age like we do today. My hair was brown and curly, big poof on my head. Snoo was right there beside me, a little darker than she is today. Playing and having a good time. It was beautiful. We were meant to be together and have, I don't know, about 20, 30 children. And they snatched us up, past the furniture, and it was a light. Something. And then I remember breastfeeding on Sheila's tight, coming in the world and seeing this fake ragtag ass doctor, seeing those in the room, and then everything goes dark. And then everything's kind of fractured here. But yeah, I started to remember Snoo every time I seen her in high school and school. I just remembered everything. I started remembering little things that I denied. Then one day, before I got married, I was talking with her and everything kicked in. And I just denied it myself because it was too clear. And then I started remembering other things. And every once in a while I hear a certain sound, music. The wind would blow a certain way and I would see a different place. And now it's these idiots want to come up, shake my hand, want to meet and see me like they know what the fuck they're doing when they have no clue that they're fucking their own selves up. I didn't want to say it, but it is what it is. You would think that with everything they know, that they knew beyond that. They don't know shit. And they keep doing the same dumb shit over and over and over. And that's what I wanted to share. All right? Rockin' Howard, what's up, beloved? What's cracking? What's happening, man? I've been trying to find the hidden info on development of projects and the reality of its impact. Hey. If y'all want to donate, I appreciate it. If you don't, I understand it. I got to go to work this evening. So I just want to come on, hit this live off, share that information. Y'all research this stuff, look into it, see what you find. You know, share it with your young ones and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's up to you guys. All right. I appreciate y'all. We're at the hour mark. And see you guys later. I got to make my protein shake or something. Trump vows vengeance against criminal Fox News polls. Anyway, excuse me for reading that. Y'all have a good day.